Hello and welcome to Indian Space Post. It's 28th November 2025 and we have big updates on Indian private aerospace startups, Agnikul Cosmos as well as Skyroot Aerospace. Chandrayaan-5 mission aka LuPEX also has got some new info to offer. Let's get into it.
Capture event is nominal. Expansion is completed.
Sir, we have achieved soft landing on the moon. India is on the moon.
Just as the winter started to take its shape, we also have got a new rather strange update on G1, the Gaganyaan-1 mission. At the Bengaluru Tech Summit 2025, ISRO Chief Dr. V. Narayanan stated that as many as 80,000 tests were being conducted for the first Gaganyaan-1 mission. Though I think it is either misstated or misquoted for 8,000. Anyways, so he adds that ISRO is fully ready to launch the first of the three uncrewed Gaganyaan mission test flights, with the date yet to be finalized by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It was in contrast to a recent update where he hinted at a March 2026 launch. Regardless, it is good news that things are finally inching closer to that historic test launch with human rated LVM3. And oh boy, I'm very excited already. Aren't you guys too? Speaking of historic milestones, we also have a historic flight coming up, scheduled for December month from 10th to 30th December is LBM3 M6 AST Bluebird, which will mark the 100th keynote orbital launch of ISRO. 100, finally. Now I'm sure you would be confused because ISRO had officially concluded the 100th launch early this year with the GSLV F-15 that carried NVS 02. Other than it being a general launch count, regardless of orbital or not, there is a problem with ISRO's counting, which was noted by Titanium SV5 within the community. Make sure to give them follow a cool stuff, by the way. So, ISRO was counting some select suborbital launches, namely LVM-3 X-Scale mission, the first flight of LVM-3, pad abort test, second scramjet test, and finally RLV-TD Hex-01. Now, there have been hundreds of suborbital launches ever since those Rohini sounding rocket tests, but they haven't been counted. Where Rohini launches and the four we previously mentioned are vastly different in provenance, but that does not explain the explosion of TVD1 and other scramjet tests. I hope someone in ISRO's media team realizes the counting error and says, oh damn, we messed up our count and rectifies it. And we have one more historical moment to note with Bluebird being the heaviest payload ever launched by LVM3 at 6.5 tons. This info is from Next Spaceflight app, and the previous record was held by LVM3 M3 OneWeb with 5.8 tons. Hope it all goes well as always, and LVM3 keeps its 100% record intact. Indian space startups, specifically Agnikul and Skyroot Aerospace, the two serious launch providing startups, which also had their suborbital tests each, are on a roll this week. First up, Agnikul Cosmos raised $17 million in funding that comes around to 1500 crores. Entire Chandrayaan program costs around 1900 crores, I believe. We also got to see cool images of 3D printed Agnilet engine, which has these rectilinear surface patterns, very 3D printing esque. Plus, upon interaction, we got to know that the engine has a full blown maze of plumbing channels within the walls. In another photo, we could see what possibly seems like an uninsulated LOX tank, liquid oxygen tank, being moved for testing. Not to forget, Agnikul also has been allocated land near Kulasekari-Pattinam's SSLV launch complex in Tamil Nadu, which is said to be ISRO's second spaceport. Agnikul later revealed that with this new funding, they would start expanding near this spaceport. Moving on to Skyroot Aerospace, we had an earlier update where journalist Aditya Madanapalle revealed that the Skyroot was targeting, you guessed it, a historic orbital launch of Vikram 1 in February 2026. Apparently, this info was from Indian Space Association's chairman A.T. Ramachandani speaking at the IISc 2025 conference. And a few days later, we saw an update on Narendra Modi inaugurating Skyroot's Infinity Campus via video conferencing on 27th November. The facility is spread across 2 lakh square feet and is capable of producing one orbital rocket every month as per the news. Chandrayaan-5 aka LuPEX also saw some updates. First one was revealed by this document of JAXA named 2025 Japan's International Space Exploration Scenario, where we saw a schematic chart on the process of on-site sampling, where the rover analyzes moisture content in the sample after heating it with the help of aquatic detector using optical resonance, shortly known as ADOR. This will also mark the first on-site evidence of lunar water if no other missions for the same are sent before Chandrayaan-5, which is scheduled for next year, although it could be delayed. There's also a green box labeled ISRO. Probably it will house ISRO instruments like ISAP, the ISRO Sample Analyzer package, which should measure the mineral and elemental composition of drilled samples. We also got to see the map of operations on the surface with the illumination points for the rover's solar charging. Bright yellowish and orangish spots stand for high illumination, close to 100%, while dark bluish spots stand for low illumination. Remember, the rover does not carry a radioisotope heating unit RHU or radioisotope thermal generator RTG units, which would otherwise help in keeping it functioning during freezing lunar nights. Freezing is an understatement though. However, it does carry strong insulations. And as per Dr. Suneta, Vice Chair of National Space Policy of Japan, he puts it as giving the rover a sweater. Thanks to this sweater, the mission is planned to last for 100 days, that is 3.5 months of operation. In another schematic image, we can see the rover in action during lunar water sample analysis. NS is a neutron spectrometer provided by NASA. It will measure average hydrogen concentration measured up to a depth of 1 meter. GPR is ground penetrating radar, and as seen here, it measures the possible water frost within the rock mass. EMSL is exospheric mass spectrometer for LuPEX, provided by the European Space Agency (ESA). It will measure the molecular species in lunar exosphere, that is detection and quantification of types of molecules present in the moon's atmosphere, especially near the surface of South Pole. Finally, the big one, ALICE, I believe, short for Advanced Lunar Imaging Spectrometer. It will observe direct content of H2O or OH content in lunar regolith and is provided by JAXA themselves. Finally, we have this Venn diagram of site selection. As you can see, they are looking for a site that satisfies all of the above: the presence of water, if the terrain is good for balanced roving, and if the site receives ample sunlight for strategic recharging, and if the site in question is interesting geologically. Exciting times ahead in next few years indeed, with Gaganyaan, Chandrayaan-5, Skyroot and Agnikul going orbital. We have a lot to look forward to, and things are just getting started for Indian space industry in general. Thank you if you made it this far into the video. I'll see you in the next one soon.